Jasper City officials are now working on selling the 30th Street Park property. Hear more on the preparations, plus the Kentucky Street project in Holland will soon be getting underway, and Jan Dugan discusses the family nutrition program tonight on Informed. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We lead off tonight with a major hiring announcement from Crane Naval Surface Warfare Center. Yesterday, Crane officials announced that the base will be hiring more than 350 new employees during the current fiscal year. The base says authorization to hire more employees was granted by NAVSEA due to a rise in workload demand and the need to have enough employees to fulfill the base's mission. The hirings will also add a few government employees at the base. The base will be hiring people in several different career fields, including acquisition and contracting, business, chemistry, human resources, information technology, and project management, among several others. To apply, you can go online to usajobs.gov. Crane officials say several jobs are already posted there, and the site will be updated throughout the year. NSWC Crane is the third largest naval base in the world. The $1.5 billion business base supports the Navy by leveraging technical capabilities to support warfighters in an ever-changing combat environment. Flexibility is the new buzzword for Jasper City officials when it comes to selling property for development. Earlier this year, the Jasper City Council and the Board of Public Works both ordered City Attorney Renee Cabrick to begin preparing the 30th Street Park area for sale. Cabrick has now come back with a proposal for a planned unit development, or PUD, for the 30th Street Park to leave all city zoning options for the property on the table once it is sold. Mayor Terry Seitz says a PUD is also the best way to resolve concerns about how that land might be used.
I think that none of us would want to have somebody buy a property and then, one, not know what they have in mind, or two, having them come for a zoning request after just spending X amount of dollars to buy a property and that zoning basically denied. So creating a planned unit development takes in consideration all the things it could be.
Seitz says the biggest concern thus far to come from homeowners in the area is how a wooded area near the park would be used in future plans. Now, city officials have scheduled a public meeting for those homeowners to hear more about what the 30th Street Park property might be used for in the future. That meeting is underway this evening in the Pfaffenweiler Room at Jasper City Hall. The 30th Street property is one of 3 properties that the city is looking to sell. The others are located on Lechner Lane and on Truman Road. The 3 properties are being sold to recoup just over $1 million that the city used out of its rainy day funds back in 2013 to buy the Parklands property. Town officials in Holland are preparing for a major project along Kentucky Street to get underway. In a news release, Holland Town Board President Tom Thacker says signage has now been put up in the area and silt fences are getting ready to be installed. Thacker says project contractor Blankenberger Brothers is also set to bring in their equipment this week. However, he says the work on the street will not begin until next week. The project, which has been in the works for about 5 years now, aims to widen Kentucky Street between Holland Road Southwest and State Road 161 in order to get heavy truck traffic off of other town streets, including Main Street. Now, utilities work on the project began in February of last year. At that time, Thacker outlined the future impacts of this project on the town.
As they come into town, they'll be using that bypass road and staying off of the other roads, and in turn, give them a longer life for the other roads in town. So, in the long run, it's going to save the town some money down the road of not having to constantly repair the other roads in town.
Thacker says the project will take the entire summer to complete. He says once work begins next week, Kentucky Street will be closed to all traffic except for residents living along Kentucky Street. 20% of the work will be funded by the town of Holland and Du Bois County. The remaining 80% is being funded through grants from the Federal Highway Administration. The Rotary Club of Jasper is presenting its 4th Athena International Award coming up later this year. The award ceremony is set for Thursday, August 20th, and it gets underway at 6 o'clock that evening at the Huntingburg Event Center with Deaconess Health System President and CEO Linda White as the guest speaker. White won an Athena Award herself in 2001 from the Evansville Rotary Club. Since the program was founded in 1982 by Martha Mayhood Mertz, more than 6,000 Athena Awards have been presented in more than 500 different communities. Those communities span the United States, Canada, China, Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and the UK. Now, the Rotary Club of Jasper is accepting nominations for this year's Athena Award. The Rotary Club is encouraging all county business leaders to consider nominating an outstanding local businesswoman for the award. Forms can be downloaded by going online to jasperrotary.com. The deadline for nominations is coming up on May 1st. This year's finalists will be announced by July 1st, and all finalists will be honored at the August 20th presentation dinner. Now, as mentioned, this is the 4th year for the Athena Award presentation in Du Bois County. Last year's winner was Kathy Treader. Jane Chappell won the inaugural Athena Award in 2012. Brenda Stallings was the 2013 winner. Hoosiers will once again be electing a new U.S. Senator coming up in 2016. Yesterday, Republican Dan Coates announced that he is retiring from the Senate at the end of his current term. The 71-year-old Coates is in his second full term in the Senate. In a statement, Coates says the decision to retire was not an easy one. However, he says the time has come to pass the job on to a new generation of leaders. Coates is the third U.S. Senator to announce retirement plans, joining Democrats Barbara Boxer of California and Barbara Mikulski of Maryland. Republicans are favored to hang on to the seat. Of course, in 2012, longtime U.S. Senator Richard Lugar lost in the primary election to Richard Murdoch. Murdoch then lost to current Senator Joe Donnelly in that November's election. A Western Indiana prosecutor is reviewing an Indiana State Police report on a shooting death of a suspect by Terre Haute police officers back in February. Prosecutor Terry Modzit says he doesn't know how long it will take him to review the report on the shooting death of 31-year-old Alexander Long of Terre Haute. He says his office received the report last Friday, and some statements still need to be transcribed. Police said Long rammed his car into police cars and ignored the commands of officers. They say Long was shot after he made a threatening motion with his hands. Long was wanted on a warrant for charges of rape, criminal confinement, and domestic battery. No weapons were found inside Long's vehicle. And finally tonight, the Indiana Department of Revenue is warning Hoosiers about a telephone scam targeting Indiana taxpayers this tax season. In the scam, a caller pretending to represent the Revenue Department says law enforcement is on its way to make an arrest over an outstanding tax warrant. Targets are told they can avoid the arrest if they immediately pay the amount that they owe over the phone. Now, of course, Revenue Commissioner Mike Alley says the department won't initiate a telephone call without first contacting taxpayers by mail. The department says anyone who is contacted by a telephone scammer should collect as much information as possible and report it to the Indiana Attorney General's Office ID Protection Line. That number is 1-800-382-5516. All right, coming up after the break, sunny skies but cooler days are in our forecast, and later on, the Family Nutrition Program through Purdue Extension. We're back after this.